Hello guys, it's Anni here and welcome to this new live, which is about porn addiction and post-acute withdrawals. So if there is any new subscribers, warmly welcome here in my channel. So a little introduction would be good in every now and then. Even probably many of you know what my channel is all about. But just to make sure that you know what this is all about, my channel. So my channel is support channel for all the caffeine quitters, and I'm ex-caffeine addict to myself. So that is how my channel was born. And that is what I have been mostly sharing here, my own caffeine withdrawal and post-acute withdrawal experience. And also I have done many videos with my sweet friend Mandy, who is from Texas. We have been working these videos and this channel together. We have been sharing so much information about dangers of caffeine and what it's like to experience caffeine withdrawals and post-acute withdrawals. And yeah, so this is what channel is all about. Hi runner, moikka runner. Ei haittaa, vaikka et osaa nyt valitettavasti suomeksi tähän tekstitystä, mutta mä ajattelin, että mä teen englanniksikin tästä pornoaddiktioaiheesta videon, koska sitä on toivottu niin paljon. Mutta katsotaan, jos mä ehkä jälkikäteen saisin tekstityksen, mutta en lupaa mitään. So yeah, unfortunately I cannot put like Finnish subtitles in this English version, which would be really nice if I could do that, but I don't know how to do that. But anyway, so today's topic is about porn addiction, and why I want to do a video about this topic is because it's like very asked video, because many people do suffer with porn addiction. And many people doesn't know that after quitting porn, many people will have also withdrawals and long-term post-acute withdrawals, which can continue for some cases several months or even up to years. But because this topic is also something that I'm interested about, even I have never watched porn myself, or I don't have that experience myself about this addiction. But what I do know and what I do have knowledge is about post-acute withdrawals, and I do know that it can be really hard for many people when you go through these symptoms of anxiety and insomnia and all these irritability and lack of concentration and low dopamine, which are really common symptoms also when people are quitting porn. So I thought that this will be a good support videos for you guys who are suffering with this addiction. And I thought that I want to start this video showing you one good video, one woman. You probably know her already if you have been following my channel. Every now and then I always show her videos, because she is very good expert speaking what comes to PAWS. So we're gonna start to watch that, and then you can also ask if anything comes to your mind, or you can share if you want to share something about your experience or anything. I know this topic is, for many, it's so much easier to speak about many other addiction, like even caffeine is so underestimated. People don't even get it how dangerous drug caffeine is, and caffeine can be gateway drug for many people to porn addiction. So we're gonna just look at that point in this video. So we're gonna also speak a little bit how stimulants can affect you, so they can be triggering to go in other addiction. But also porn, even it's not the drug you intake, even it's not that kind of drug, but it is something that can cause like brain structure changes. It can change your brain structure, and it can like affect really deeply in your system and your mood and your behavior. And the younger you start to use porn, the more kind of effect it does. Same than any other addictions. Like we know caffeine, how when we start that, some of us, we have been started that very young age, it have been affecting how we have been learning, how we have been growing, everything, because it affects every single cell in our body. But porn too is very, very damaging. But this is not judging video, this is supporting video. So please guys, always when you come here, we are not here to judge anyone, we are always here to help, because that's what people need. When we suffer addiction, we need support and help. So let's start with this Dr. Snipes video. And I did a Finnish version of this topic too, so I did show the same video.
PAWS, or Post-Acute Withdrawal Syndrome and Pornography Addiction Recovery. I'm your host, Dr. Dawn-Elise Snipes. In this video, we're going to discuss post-acute withdrawal and explore post-acute withdrawal symptoms in all pieces of the recovery process. And then we'll finish up by identifying some suggestions for very early recovery. These are things to get you started. You're obviously not going to have all...
Mitäs Runner sanoo? Tekisitkö huomenna suomeksi tästä tai niin kuin tosi paljon videoita, koska nyt tarvii sitä sun tukea näitä videoita. Nämä auttaa ymmärtää mun läheisiä mun addiktiota, mutta totta kai enkuksi hyvä tehdä. Joo, mä teen Runner lisääkin tässä jossain vaiheessa, kun mä kerkiän. Nyt tää versio tulee olemaan enkuksi sen takia, kun myös kanavaani seuraa monia jotka ei sitten taas suomea ymmärrä yhtään tuolta Rapakon takaa ja Amerikasta, niin sitten sen takia nyt englannin versio, mutta tulee sitten suomeksi aiheesta kyllä lisää videoita, että no hätä.
All the tools you need for recovery in this one short video. So let's start at the beginning. What is post-acute withdrawal? This is the period between when you stop using and when your nervous system has healed itself from sustained high levels of delta phos B, which is a chemical in your brain that is released in order to help protect it from your continued overuse of porn. You also need to heal from hormone and neurotransmitter imbalances that...
Rasmus, no niin, hyvä. Tsemppiä Rasmus sulle sinne kovasti. Ja teen todellakin lisää videoita suomeksi jatkossa. Mun täytyy vaan vielä vähän enemmän hankkia tästäkin lisää materiaalia, niin on sitten vielä lisämateriaalia. Mutta nyt mennään tällä engliksillä.
That are caused as a result of those neural changes. Loss of dopamine receptors due to glutamate toxicity is another thing that needs to heal.
So also, like she's talking about losing of dopamine receptors. And this is so interesting because, yeah, porn can do that too. So that's why it can also, if you have been using porn a long time, you have to know that it takes time before these neurotransmitters goes back to like in optimal state. And like we know, we cannot just affect dopamine. It's not impossible. It's not how the brain works. If you understand how the brain works and how these neurotransmitters works, they always works in balance with each other. So that's why if you mess up with one, if you mess up with glutamate, if you mess up with dopamine, you will mess up with others too. So that's why you can have like, when you quit porn, it can be that you have just a long period of time when you just don't feel like yourself. It is like very, very natural symptom when you go back to normal because your body needs to restore and rewire and heal.
And structural changes from BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, has reduced signal strength of the neurotransmitters, and that persists for an extended period. So we need to undo all...
So guys, you who have been watching my videos before and you already know about post-acute withdrawals and how it really affects like the communication between those hormones and between those neurotransmitters. So this does the same basically. Even we know that every withdrawal and post-acute withdrawal can be different depending what drug you have been using. But I think some experts even they underestimate porn. They just speak about but it's not so bad. It actually can be very bad. And it can be like why I want to also raise this topic is because you know that I always have been speaking about my channel that why it's so important to quit all mind-altering drugs when you are recovering for caffeine addiction or some other addictions. But then porn is something that I was like not thinking about, that yeah, many people are still probably in porn, so it's of course it's gonna affect. If you ask like is it gonna affect your healing from the caffeine or something else if you still keep using porn, if you are really heavy porn addict, yeah, it can affect. So that's I will include that to my list, that yeah, porn is really addiction for many.
The damage that's been done. That doesn't happen overnight. That's like after a hurricane. There is a period where the city or the county or the state has to rebuild, and that doesn't happen overnight.
And this is mostly what I repeat in my channel. It doesn't happen overnight. And please, guys, be humble to yourself when you are quitting also this addiction. If you do relapse, or when it, because this is the addiction which can bring up probably a lot of like guilt or shame, or just feeling like I'm like, what is the word, like failure, like that you are failure feelings. But just guys, know that relapse happens, and it's not about really the like getting stuck if you relapse, but what do you do after that? What do you do after that relapse? Are you just gonna throw it all away and think that, oh, it's this is not gonna ever like work? Or are you gonna just be empathic? Can you be empathic to yourself that it's huge that you wanna do better, you wanna get rid of this addiction, you happy admitting that you have this addiction? That is huge. First of all, it's huge to like admit that, and then what you're gonna do about it, because there really is hope with this addiction to be. But just know that it's very normal to struggle with quitting porn, because some people can have like really have even after months or years some of the post-acute withdrawal, depending how long and deep their use have been. But it's like that you are not alone if you suffer this addiction, and it's really common. It's really common, but more we need to speak about this more, because it's usually, when we speak about addiction, we speak about more like other addiction. So I think caffeine, of course, is so underestimated. We know that already. But porn too, in that sense, that I think that we should have more like this kind of information out there, what this Dr. Snipes is doing the good work with.
The buildings weren't built overnight the first time. They ain't going to be rebuilt overnight the second time. So what are some of these symptoms? Sleep difficulties. Between the fact that your hormones and neurotransmitters are out of balance, and you're craving, and you may feel irritable, it makes it difficult to sleep. Energy fluctuations. You may be more easily fatigued, and it may take longer to recover from stress. Well, that's okay. Your dopamine is too low, and some of your excitatory neurotransmitters are actually too low during this process, because the brain is no longer being flooded with them. So the brain is having to adjust to getting less.
And when you don't have these dopamine flush, what is that? Dopamine, mountains of dopamine, like around there, usually you get irritated. You get irritated with this addiction when you quit that. It can be that you have like social anxiety. It can be hard to meet people. It can be hard to make connection, because porn can affect you in many different ways. It can also affect your sexual behavior. I remember, because I have had a partner when I was younger who had this addiction, and it was a long time ago, but I remember how hard it was for him. It was very hard first of all admit that. He wouldn't admit that ever, but then I was in a situation that I actually did get caught him. It was a long time ago, but I remember that I saw something. He was watching something and he just put it away, and then so just know that if you have a partner who have this addiction, and if he is willing to speak with you partner who don't have this addiction, or if you are a family member, if you are a mother, or if you are a father, maybe you have a kid who have this addiction, please be very empathic and understanding and get a proper knowledge about this addiction, rather than just yelling and nagging and because this is the same what I always say, the loved ones who are there with the caffeine addicts also, or recovering caffeine addicts or benzo addicts, or whoever who is recovering addict, that instead of like judging or blaming or bringing that shame, it's really important to get know what is all about and educate yourself, and that's how you can actually support. But just wanted to say that you are not alone, and there is many others who are going through the same than you.
It's having to down-regulate again. So you may have fluctuations in your energy. You may feel restless sometimes. When your brain registers that there's not enough of a particular hormone or neurochemical, or there's an imbalance somewhere, it triggers the stress response. The stress response makes you restless. It's like,
yeah, and this is really common. So when your body is going through this post-acute withdrawal and changes, it is a stressful to the body. Of course, it is stressful because your body is like, why? Your brain is like, why we don't get that dopamine? Like, I want this drug, I wanna go there, you wanna go there and watch porn, and even if you try to be disciplined, you try to be that, but when the desire can be just so powerful for some people that it's almost, it feels them, it's almost impossible them to control that desire. So then what you can do, if you know those situations that it can get overwhelming, you have to have some kind of tools. Of course, first of all, like you have to make the decision, you have to get that decision that you have addiction. That's the first one. But then the other ones, like what you're gonna do when you have decided that you don't do that anymore and you want to quit, and what you're gonna do in those situations when it gets hard, when it gets irritability, when it gets really bad, when you get agitated, and when you have that desire, like you just have to do that. What you're gonna do then? Do you have anyone you can call? Do you have anyone you can speak about it, that so that feeling will start to like go over, like in those really bad moments? Or do you have anything else you can do? Can you go walk? Can you do something physical? Is it possible for you, or are you too tired? It depends on the person, of course, but can you do something else where you put your mind in those situations? Maybe it can be helpful, but again, it have to be something that works for you. Like for me, in my own recovery, I didn't really have cravings because I did fall off the mountain with caffeine, which means my anxiety was so high. I had so much panic, severe symptoms of anxiety, a really long time, many years. So for me, I didn't have caffeine cravings, except in my dreams I was dreaming about. But what did help me, and I know that it helped many other addicts, is that you have some kind of routine in your day. You have some kind of things that you try to do every day when you are like in that recovery phase, so you wouldn't go back to take the drug. But again, you have to find what maybe even therapy can be helpful. For me, of course, now when I'm a religious person, I believe in Jesus, I always speak to the Lord and I speak to the God if I have any problems in my life. But whatever is like for you, what you need to do in those situations when the really bad cravings comes.
It gives you a bunch of energy, and you've got to recognize what the energy is.
Because the restlessness is really common when you quit porn. You can be really restless. It can be that you cannot sleep at night, and that nighttime is for many when they do watch porn, and it can be the cycle that for some people they need to watch porn before they go to bed because maybe it will give you some kind of relaxation, or maybe it's something that you always have used to do to just get busy, so the trauma, the feelings, uncomfortable feelings doesn't go out. So it can be like the kind of survival mechanism. Even I don't know if that's the right word, but if you get it, like we don't just do something without the reason. You just, there usually is some reason why you have been starting to use porn so much that you did end up addict. So it can be that there is really uncomfortable feelings that it helps you to not to face, or something like that. So there is usually like something underneath this addiction many times. But then of course, like I always say, it can be that person have just been like starting to maybe watch porn when really young age, and then you just have been starting to get addicted, that even if you don't have any specific traumas or like things, and then you just are hooked, and you notice that, oh my god, I cannot get rid of this. So then you need to do some kind of plan for yourself that, and get some kind of support that you can get out of that addiction, because longer you're gonna stay the addiction. If you stay porn addiction like years and years and years and years and years, it can be harder to quit. So that's why I encourage you, to sooner you get out of this addiction, to probably the easier it will be what comes to healing.
Available for, and do it, and or not do it. But in this case, the restlessness often is paired with cravings. You start getting restless and going, I really need to get my dopamine levels up. What can I do? Yeah. You may not be actually thinking it in those words, but a lot of times that's the restlessness. That's the glutamate coursing through your system going, boss, there is an imbalance here. We need to get it worked out.
And why it is so hard then for sometimes to be in those situation when you have that, like the Dr. Snipe says, it's like our body wants to have that feeling. That's why it's so hard when you go through withdrawals and PAWS, and if you don't take anything, that's why it is uncomfortable. But that is the period that doesn't last. You have to remember, it's not like lifelong lasting diagnosis that you now have. It's not gonna last forever. You have to remember that, and then you have to remember when you do get rid of the addiction, it will help you. It will help you with if you have anxiousness, and if the porn is like really affecting your relationships and how you are socializing and everything like that, and of course that dopamine system and all neurotransmitters, you're gonna have more natural energy. You're gonna have healthier relationships when the porn is not messing up with that side anymore, and like you can even start to have like what is that, your senses can start to be normalized, like that because porn can even affect how are you sensing things. So there can be so many benefits if you can get rid of this addiction.
You may have sexual tension with an inability to achieve orgasm without porn. Now, every person does not have every one of these symptoms. I'm just trying to hit some of the more common ones so you're not surprised by them, and you recognize that this is part of the recovery process and the remodeling process of your brain. You may have overall achiness and increased pain. Remember, dopamine and endorphins are both involved in pain regulation.
And this is also what somebody can like feel that, that if you are quitting porn and you experience like increased pain and increased like that you're just achiness, like muscle tension, just know that dopamine is also like affecting in those. So if you have low dopamine and your neurotransmitters levels, when they are not balanced, you can have really much achiness and pain, and just like that, even that can be like hard to tolerate. But just remember, it's just a period of time that you go through these symptoms. For some people it's shorter periods, for some people it is longer, but it will go back to normal.
And dopamine and endorphins are also both involved in the availability of serotonin, which is also involved in pain management.
So endorphins and serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin, they all go together. So if you mess up with one, you mess up it all. So
you may temporarily have more just general achiness and pain. Now, extreme pain, that's something else. But don't be surprised if your arthritis starts to act up, or you may have more headaches or, aches and pains here and there.
Usually when your dopamine systems, if you have been, let's say that very, very heavy porn addict, and it can be that your dopamine system have been really messed up with long time. So it's really interesting that probably when you start to heal and when your dopamine system, when it goes back on place, and we caffeine quitters, we know how messed up it can be, because many of us who are caffeine quitters and we have long-term PAWS, because caffeine also will definitely mess up your dopamine. It mess up every single neurotransmitters and hormones in your body. So when the dopamine system starts to go back to balanced place, you actually start to feel less pain, less tension. Of course, the endorphins and serotonin goes back to place. So when you fix that problem, it's gonna like fix the many problems. But this is one thing that if you use a lot of stimulants, for example caffeine, and then if you try to quit porn, or if you have several addictions. And I wish because I always say my advice is to go without any mind-altering drugs. But there is people who it's not just possible. So of course I would maybe quit caffeine even worse if that's the bigger problem even than porn. But it's the porn is, for some people porn is the big addiction, and maybe they are not addicted to caffeine or any other things, so then it's just porn. But just to know that if you are using stimulants, or for example caffeine, it can affect that. It can make you harder to quit porn. It can make it harder to quit if you still are using stimulants, because stimulants keep your body in that stress state, and it already mess up your dopamine. So it can be that it affects that you, because you are more stressed. That's because what stimulants do. So if you are more stressed already, that will trigger for many people that they will start to take some other drugs. For example, they start to use porn because they need something to relax them, or they go to alcohol, or they start to use more weed for that, because body just wants to calm down. Naturally, it tries to look anything to calm down. So because this is a channel for caffeine quitters, so that's why I always want to add that in, that just know that if you can just quit all stimulants, and if you are using those also, it can be helpful for you to quit porn too. But of course not everyone. It can be that not everyone have the caffeine addiction.
It's okay. It'll get better. And you may have more headaches. Just prepare for it. It doesn't mean you can't address it, but understanding and not getting freaked out and thinking there's something terribly wrong. All right, this is your body rebuilding. Interpersonal post-acute withdrawal symptoms. Objectification. Your brain is craving dopamine, and all of the other chemicals in that pleasure cocktail that we've talked about, and it's not getting it. So when it sees a porn adjacent stimulus, when it sees women, when it sees men, when it sees lingerie, it may objectify that and think of that not as a person, but as something to be acquired, if you will. You may be more impatient with other people because you're restless, because you're irritable, because you don't feel well.
So this is also something to know about, like if there is a loved ones or like fiance, or if you are married and you go through this, to maybe to tell about your family, whoever are with there, that when you are quitting, you are not going to feel yourself, maybe very, very long time for some, or just for some maybe shorter, but they have to know that you are not going to be yourself. And then hopefully, I really hope that they do understand, because some people, they are not so understanding, unfortunately, but that is really normal if you cannot be socializing or out and about. It's like, you got this. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay with this too. I will take a comment. Mitäs Runner 38? Onko sulla Facebook-sivu, Anni? Voisit tehdä, jos ei oo. Saisit Facebookissakin sitä näkyvyyttä. Tää sun kanava on liian aliarvostettu. Ansaitsit enemmän tilaa, mutta sä pelastat ihmishenkiä näillä videoilla. Kiitos Runner 38. Ei oo Facebookia. Mä jäin Facebookista joskus kauemman aikaa jo pois, mut ehkä jossain kohtaa voi olla, että mä teen sit Facebookin, mut nyt mennään toistaiseksi näillä. Mut kiitos ihanista sanoista, että toivon, että nämä vois auttaa mahdollisimman paljon, nämä mun videot. Discordihan mulla löytyy kyllä, mutta toi ja Instagrami. Mutta tää YouTube on niinku tää mun pääjuttu. No niin, jatketaanpas. We will continue.
It may be harder to tolerate other people's BS. That is expected. You are under stress right now. Whether you realize it or not, this recovery process is stressful, not only on tangible things, but on your body.
And that is something also, that recovery is always, what comes to addiction, it's just stressful. It's not just like we cannot deal stress from the outside, which we know that our family members, it can make us just crazy. They can just make us crazy because we just don't deal with any nagging, or even some small comment about you can make you crazy when you are withdrawing and post-acute withdrawing. But also, like the Snipe says, it's stressful to our body, because our body is going through all these changes, your dopamine system, all the neurotransmitter system. So that's why it can be even hard to just be by yourself. So just be like, you are strong quitting this. It's like something that not many people are even not want to do, or not want to even try. So you got this really good when you are doing the work. So just keep going.
And because your body is under stress, you're going to be more irritable, which may mean you're more impatient. Plan for it. Prepare for it. Withdrawal from others. You may just not want to be around other people because you don't have the energy to deal with their BS.
And also low energy in this too. When you have low dopamine, you have low energy. Silloin kun dopamiinitasot on alhaiset, energiatasot on alhaiset. Se on normaalia tässä. So it's like thinking, if you are thinking that, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym today, or maybe I'm gonna go to the running today, it's not always just that, it's not that you are lazy. Remember that. It's just your neurotransmitters just doesn't work. So it can be that even if you would like to go in the gym, or even if you would like to go in the running, it just doesn't work in the same way. So just know that that is normal. That is that rebuilding. I always call this rewiring, because I like that word. It's almost like a computer program. you have that old program there and it's running, but it's not the optimal. But now you are rebuilding. Now we're gonna go back to optimal because you are quitting the addiction. You want to go back to optimal. So that rebuilding stage you can have all kind of weird feelings, even with your motor skills. You can feel like even with the porn addiction, it can affect, because it's about dopamine, it can affect your like motor skills. Like you can feel like clumsy even, because dopamine is also involved what comes to like a movement, and it is involved in really many stuff what we do. So that, or what is happening in our body. So, and memory also. So just know that if you just feel like not wanna do anything, it is normal in this, and that will pass. And then if you have also windows and waves, maybe you can have windows and waves in porn addiction quitting too, which means that you have sometimes a period when you feel better, which means that you have maybe more energy, and then you get depressed again. So then use that energy. If you have a good window, do something about it. Like that's at least what I did in my own caffeine quitting recovery. So use those good windows to do what you can. And it doesn't, just remember, you can try to just live, do what you can, like I always say, because many times we start to nitpick everything when we have this addiction recovery, whatever your addiction was, when we are recovering. And when we come closer to the end, when we go closer to the end stages, when we are not there yet, we usually start to nitpick everything. Oh, is this gonna also because of that? And then you start to Google symptoms, and then you go to start to do this and that. But just know that as long as your system and brain is rewiring, you're gonna feel something. You're gonna feel something. And then when it's done, you're gonna feel good and healed. So it's normal. It's normal if you don't feel normal, even though some months have been already go by, or even some years for some cases. I did read some comments for some porn addiction videos that some people can have PAWS even after 3 years. So yeah, it is really addiction too. Of course, not everyone, of course.
And some people experience low self-esteem during this period. They're not getting that boost of testosterone. They're not getting that boost of pleasure. And they may start wondering about whether they're going to be able to have the rich and meaningful life that they want.
And this is the one, I think it's common, whatever is the case, that you can feel just so low self-esteem. Like you can have feelings like being a loser, even you are not a loser. And definitely you are not. Even you have this addiction. It's if you are a porn addict, it's not who you are. Remember that it's not who you are. You cannot like make that addiction like tell what you are. It is addiction that you have, and it's not permanent. The problem is not permanent when you are quitting that and you are getting rid of that. Just remember that. Same with other addictions too. Even I am ex-caffeine addict. I'm not anymore. For me, it's the poison. I never will touch that again. So you just have to know that it's a temporary state that you are now, and you are trying to battle with that, and you will succeed. One day you will succeed. It's not it's not the one night thing, or like two weeks thing that the Wikipedia is always saying about many addictions. It's a 2 weeks of a little bit this and that. It is not, because they don't recognize the post-acute withdrawals, which are very common if you have been using substances or drugs any longer period of time. So it's a real deal. But you will be able to live meaningful and richful life when you get rid of this addiction. And you will recover. You will recover. That is the most common question that I get. Anni, will I ever be normal? Ever, never? Yes, you will. Hi, Josh. Hi. Welcome.
Want. Emotional post-acute withdrawal, anxiety. People's anxiety during this period can range from performance anxiety. Am I going to be able to have meaningful or pleasurable sex with a person in the future? They may have anxiety about what others would think if they found out about the porn addiction, or if they are in an intimate moment and they're not able to perform. There may be a lot of anxiety there. And there may be a lot of anxiety about whether they're even going to be able to recover, if their libido is for real life people is ever going to come back.
Yeah, and that's gonna be like for sure a worry at that. Are you ever gonna be like the normal sex of what is that relationship that you don't feel those pressures or whatever? Yes, you are, because our system, we heal from whatever is addiction. You can heal. And even it can now feel like really uncomfortable, and you maybe cannot even imagine that you would be in a relationship, or you wouldn't want to be in a relationship. That is normal, because when you heal, it's stressful. When it's stressful, your body is kind of in that protection state when you, however, you are not in connected state, where you would normally, when you heal, you normally start to want to make some connections, either friend connections or if you don't have relationship, that is natural for human being, that we want to be have some kind of connection with other humans. That is very like natural. It's about our survival from our species. But then when we are in that stressed state, healing state, recovery state, rewire state, whatever that is, it's about state to ourselves. That is the state that our system just takes time and the brain, and it doesn't really ask you that, oh, do you want to go out now? No, but you will be able to do that and have relationships, and it's not gonna be like I said, the right now, if you have this process going on, but in the future you will be.
As I mentioned already, but I'll underscore here, there's going to be more anger and irritability. I have been working in addiction recovery for 25 years, and I have never met somebody who didn't have some bouts of anger or irritability. And it can be generalized. You're just angry at the world. You wake up in the morning and you're just ticked off. Okay. That is your brain in stress mode saying we need to fight or flee. And you going, well, what am I fighting and what am I fleeing from? I just got to wait it out. Mm-hmm. And you may have a low frustration tolerance. During this period, don't be taking on complex tasks. That's not a good thing to do, because you are more likely to have difficulty concentrating. And when things start to become difficult, even if they're not going bad, if they start becoming difficult, you may just not have the ability to tolerate that frustration.
Yeah, and something that I want to say about that, so it can be really, really common that your concentration is very poor. And like the snipe says, I wouldn't like just tease myself or yourself if you already feel that you are so frustrated that you're gonna just do, maybe you are in the school studying, or maybe with this addiction you are still able to go to the work, even it can be that it's really in school or work you cannot be yourself. So just be empathic yourself, and if it's possible, not to force yourself like to do too hard tasks if you don't have to, if it's not something that you feel that is help. It can be that some people maybe can do something that it helps you to distract. Distracting is always one tool that I will advise people who go post-acute withdrawal, that do something to distract. What I mean, go walks, do something with your hands, knitting. Okay, not with this addiction, because you are doing it weird with your hands. Okay, that's a bad example. But something else, like I don't know, what else? I like go to the gym if you can, or like build something. Maybe you wanna, I don't know, build something, or if you are a woman, you can learn to knit or do something to distract from yourself, to just being all in your head and thinking about that addiction and, oh, I want to have this and that. So that distraction can be really helpful for some people. Also, if you have some kind of phone call support, it can be for some people really helpful for just spend time when you have really hard times, just to speak with somebody who listens to you, just to spend time. That can be really helpful for some situation for some people. What else? So just know that there gonna be a lot of frustration with the task that you need to concentrate. So it can be like you can just feel frustrated. Oh, my brain just doesn't work. I couldn't do even this simple schoolwork, or the be empathic. That's the healing going on. It's not that you are suddenly came stupid. It's not that your brain is suddenly broken, which I don't know if even many experts will realize this so good, that every symptom is healing symptom. When you quit addiction, it's healing symptom. So it's not that you suddenly came brain dead or broken in your brain. It's just the rewiring that is happening.
So you just get angry and go,
okay, what is the just saying? Let's take a comment. Went for a 1 hour walk today with sister dog. 2 days without porn and alcohol. It's the last addiction I have, but I'm so goddamn hungry. Feel like I have to numb myself with food. I'm becoming fat. Hole in my stomach that I need to fill with something. Yeah, but don't worry, Chas. That if that is your last addictions, like that is amazing. So congrats with the 3 days. And first of all, if you are feeling to coming fat, that will be temporary. Actually, I'm feeling that too now when I'm able to eat all the foods. Yeah, I have been eating just so much, too much pizza. But it will balance. You will, when you have your energy back, you will not be fat. Don't worry about that thing. Eat, boy, if you can eat, and if that even helps you to distract, because I think that will be the less bad than porn. So eat something now, and even it will be the junk food, whatever, that you can go over this hardest part, which probably are those first weeks or months. So don't be so, what is that, like ankara? I don't know what is in English. So don't punish yourself about everything. We can always lose the weight, but if you go back to porn, it's gonna just mess up your brain more.
Whatever, and tip over the chessboard. You may experience guilt for using. You may experience depression, and depression is a sense of feeling hopeless and helpless. We already talked about not having energy, and not everybody feels depressed, but most everybody experiences a lack of energy. But if you feel depression, that's expected, as I mentioned.
Yeah, that's true, but I will say that really many cases, if you feel depressed, also many people who quit porn, they feel depressed, because sometimes if you feel the low energy, even when you have low dopamine, you have low energy, the low energy itself can feel pretty much same than depression, because you haven't used to that. If you used to work, even when you were using porn, if you had other addictions too, if you used to were very like that doing person, like I was in my caffeine addiction, I was still very functional addict. I always call it functional addict when we are so go and about when we use something, so we are able to work out, do our work, or we just have been using to that high dopamine, that fluctuation of dopamine, so for our system is like, what is this? I cannot be this tired all the time. This is horrible. I feel tired. And the tiredness and depression, they kind of go in hand what comes to PAWS. Sometimes you cannot really say either it is depression or tiredness. We call it, with this caffeine community, we call it many times with blahness. You just feel blah. You don't know why you are just don't get anything done. That's all about the dopamine also rewiring, so it's normal. Hi Chris. Annie, did you notice bad habits going away when you healed it, etc. Nail baiting? Yes, I did. I actually now have, I always bite my nails, like when I was stressful, I always bite my nails. Even this journey, many times that I end up having more waves, which means that I had more symptoms and I did get more stressful. I noticed that I was biting my nails, but now I don't do that anymore. So that's one bad habit. And yeah, there are other bad habits too, like I don't get so frustrated anymore what comes to my family, and I'm just more peaceful overall. I can communicate better. I don't know if that's a bad habit, but the nail biting was the bad habit. That was for me the bad habit. But I don't now recognize. I'm sure that there is other ones too that I maybe did. Yeah, sometimes I did also like take skin from these, like what is this? The closer my nails, like I just nip the skin away, which was stupid, but I did. Oh, and then I was having this one habit that I was doing with my hair when I was stressed, and then I which like tried to pull my hair, and because I don't have many hair, that wasn't really fun, so I don't do that anymore. But yeah, probably when your anxiety goes away, then those habits that you do when you are stressed will also just disappear, because when you heal, you don't probably do those anymore. But yes, we will continue.
Dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin are all impacted in the addiction process, and they all become somewhat deficient when you're no longer flooding the system until that remodeling happens. So you may experience some temporary but notable depression. And you can talk with your doctor about whether there are options for you. In most cases, there are, how shall I say this? Antidepressants have the benefit of helping you get through these moments.
Well, I have to stop here because, like, you know, in my channel, I don't advise anyone to take any antidepressant medications or any medication. First of all, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not allowed to do that. Second of all, this is like peer support that I'm giving here. But the third reason, which I think is really important reason that many doesn't know, that those medications many times they don't actually help us to heal, but what they do, they can actually slows the healing process down or even stop it, because the body have more important to do, because body will recognize many times those medications that they are just poisons. So, but of course you do what you do, but just know that my recommendations in this channel are just always like natural ones, like the exercise and just, you know, drink water and try to avoid stress and try to make environment so it wouldn't be so stressful, and that kind of advices I will give, but just wanted to say that. Yeah, what Chris says, did you have to practice to stop nail baiting, or did the urge just go away? Yeah, it just did go away. No, I didn't have to practice that at all. I really think that when we start to come, like, go more in that natural stages, which is a long journey for many us caffeine quitters too. It can be like 5 years, even over 5 years we do improve, many of us. who go through this PAWS. Yes, it can sound really some people that how that can be, but that is actually a fact for many. So it just naturally happens. It's natural just happen when your anxiety just goes away. I think everything just comes naturally. Even the energy levels, they can be the last one to go. At least it's been for me. But it's like normal if we think how much our bodies, when we have been in addictions for many years, for some of us, and even some if you haven't been many years, but you have been end up this journey. So it can be a long-term journey when your body rewires everything, and also your adrenals heal and your stress levels will come to normal, your HPA axis heals and all that. So it is just time, and then everything just comes back naturally. Without trying, without pushing, without forcing, without and this is how I believe. I believe that actually, I believe that we don't even need necessarily any therapies to work out our traumas. Of course, some people can do that, and you do that. But I have felt that even the traumas, even the behaviors that I speak about in one video, I mentioned that now I'm working these behaviors, but it's not like I'm working these behaviors. I said it wrong. It's just my system is working those behaviors itself, because it is part of the rewiring still. Even you go in this, if you quit, for example, porn, okay, so you maybe have these behaviors that comes out with that if you have been using porn a long time. So maybe you have certain patterns that you do, or I don't know what it could be, but you can have all kind of. So when your system rewire, you don't use anything, it naturally happens. It naturally starts to even bring up those old memories, those old feelings, that it naturally rewires and heals when your system first heal the most critical parts, like the nervous system, the critical parts that needs to be healed first. So then it can feel like somebody going through this PAWS. It can feel that you are longer in the journey, and then you just feel, oh, is again something different is rising up. Why I don't feel it myself yet? Because your body, the longer it goes, if it still needs to rewire something, it's gonna do that. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's all rewiring basically. Se on paha, kun puree kynsiä ja sitten tulee se kynsitikku, niin ei tee mieli edes purra. Joo, juurikin tuossa kysyttiin just näistä, että onko jotain pahoja tapoja niin kuin jäänyt pois, kun on parantunut addiktiosta, niin mulla on jäänyt kynsien pureminen esimerkiksi pois. Ja voihan se olla, että myös pornoaddiktiossakin, niin, koska sekin vaikuttaa siihen, että aiheuttaa sitä stressiä, ja kun siitä paranee, niin voi olla, että jää myös pahoja tapoja pois. Ihan itsestään. Mitäs Josh sanoo? What does Josh says? I've been a nail biter for all my life, with or without drugs. Yeah, of course, it can be just also a habit that you will have. Of course, because everyone is different. So it can be just a habit that you have.
Moments for some people, not for all. But
and I don't know, it's okay, it's not that bad habit. It's okay, nail biting. Yeah, it's not fun, but it's not. Yeah, it's just, for example, for me that I just didn't bite a little bit my nails. I just bite all of them. So that's why I'm just happy that I don't bite them. But yeah, it's not a big thing still.
Antidepressants often suppress libido and may have extended effects even after you stop.
Yeah, and with those medicines, many people can have, like, for example, when I was in SSRIs many years ago, I remember that those did affect my mood. Like, I was just like really low mood, and many people have been saying for me that if they use SSRIs, their sexual desires have been going down, or they don't have them. So it doesn't make sense to take that kind of medicines if you are trying to heal with all that areas in your system. So for me, it just doesn't make sense that why you would go in the medication that just affects your serotonin levels and all the neurotransmitters levels also. And it can just do more bad than good, actually, especially if you will start to take those long term. And many times they say that even as a SRI, you have to take them like several weeks before they start to kick in. So just go without if you just can, because it's like better to suffer maybe shorter period of time or longer period of time if you have to, than to start to add new drugs in. That's my opinion, at least.
Taking them, especially sexual side effects. So talk with your doctor about the risks and benefits if you're depressed.
But yeah, of course, that is between you and your doctor to have that conversation.
And you're thinking about taking antidepressants. Now, there are other treatments out there like transcranial magnetic stimulation that works really well, and ketamine, nasal ketamine, that works pretty well for some people. So there are options besides your antidepressant drugs. Don't lose hope that you have to sit in the depression for an extended period. There are options. Mm-hmm. You may experience grief when you're going through this. You may start recognizing that you've lost a lot of time to porn use, or you've lost a lot of relationships or whatever, and you may have to grieve those losses. And as I mentioned,
yeah, this especially maybe if you have been longer into addiction, there can be a lot of grief, and like the porn addiction is one that it's definitely taking your time. So if you are thinking about the motivation to quit that, so think about this also, that you have so much more time when you quit porn, because it is really, even if somebody who have porn addiction, you would think that, oh, but it's not so bad because, okay, it affects your dopamine levels, even it affects every other neurotransmitters too. But you can think that, no, it's not maybe so bad, that you can still control it maybe. But the longer you go with that addiction, you are not able to control it, because addiction always wins. So it's gonna take a lot of time of your day. So think about that. You will have so much more time, and you can use that to more those things that will help you grow and feel better, and yeah. So that's, I think, one huge benefit when you quit, that you will also have more energy and time to spend that energy with the good things.
Because your dopamine is low, you're going to have low motivation. You're going to likely feel relatively apathetic or about most things.
Yes, indeed.
For a period of time. And being aware of that is part of the battle. Recognizing, hey, I don't feel really motivated, but I'm going to do it anyway, is important in recovery. As your brain heals, you'll start.
Yes, just ask, what about masturbation? Masturbation, does it kill the spirit, curiosity, and creativity? Yeah, definitely. I would stay away from that when you are recovering from porn addiction. If you are recovering from porn addiction, but that is a good question, because I don't have the direct answer for that. Like, I really don't have the direct answer, but I would say that if you have the addiction, then I wouldn't mess with that if you don't have to, because I would just give yourself the time to rebuild and repair, and because it can be that it will lead you back to addiction if you do that. But again, like I said, I don't know the direct answer, but that's something that I would just think about my common sense, that if you have been really addicted to porn, and then probably the masturbation is not the something you wanna do when you wanna recover and heal from that. So and if there is any possibility that it will put you like even deeper into addiction, and like that's what my answer for that. But I'm not in this specific field expert. I just wanna share this information that I have get.
Start to get that motivation back. Cognitive post-acute withdrawal is brain fog. It may be difficulty with sustained concentration. You can focus for like 2 seconds and then it's out the window. And that could be your mind wanders, that could be you blank out, or it could be you start having intrusive thoughts about porn.
So intrusive thoughts also are one common symptom after quitting porn. So you can, like, I have been doing video about intrusive thoughts in general with Mandy, like what intrusive thoughts are. So intrusive thoughts can be like those thoughts that can be really scary and stuck in your head. So you can have the sexual intrusive thoughts that you will do sexual harm to somebody or some of your loved ones or your family members, or it can be just hurting thoughts that some people have, that they cannot keep knives on their table. For example, when I had OCD when I was younger, I had so bad OCD, intrusive thoughts based OCD, that I couldn't sometimes keep knives in the kitchen because I have the thought that what if this is always so common in intrusive thoughts. It's what if I will take the knife and hurt myself, but I wouldn't never do that. But it's just like when you have these intrusive thoughts, which can be really scary, that you will hurt yourself or do something. It can be like the cycle that you are just out of your head, like with those thoughts. They are very common symptom in post-acute withdrawals. What comes to caffeine, of course, but porn also. So just know if you have intrusive thoughts also around this addiction, that your head is just flooding out these thoughts, that sexual thoughts or whatever thoughts, just know that it's rewiring. So if you just, I know this is a stupid advice, but I did get this advice when I was very young about one therapist that was really good therapist in that sense. Even she didn't understand what was the root cause of my intrusive thoughts, which was for me for caffeine and stress. But she did give me a good advice that don't just like, when you just let those intrusive thoughts be, like, don't start to, the more you start to be, oh my god, I don't want to think about this, it's just gonna like not help. But when you just, okay, I have this and this and this intrusive thoughts, I know it's not like I have this and this. When you have those, it can really like almost feel that it takes all over your personality and stuff. I know that because I had those intrusive thoughts since childhood, and now I don't have them anymore. So I can very much speak about them and tell about them. And I think it's really important to speak about intrusive thoughts also what comes to porn, because of course you're gonna probably have those sexual thoughts when you quit, and all kind of desires which can feel like really bad intrusive thoughts, but just know that those will pass with time, and just you can just ignore it. You can just notice, oh, I have these thoughts again, but just know they are not dangerous. So not dangerous at all. Rewiring.
Recall is often a whole lot slower during post-acute withdrawal. You have memories, you have knowledge back there, you're a really smart person, but it's really hard to get all that knowledge.
This is so common. So you can have like, you can feel like also after quitting porn, you can feel like you have dementia. Like you feel like, oh, my head just doesn't work. Why I don't remember things. It's normal. It's very normal after quitting pretty much any like mind-altering substances, that you can have like some kind of like difficulties to remember stuff, especially if you have been messing up with these like neurotransmitters and dopamine, which drugs will do, because dopamine also affects your memory. But yeah, it's very normal, so don't worry if you feel like you don't remember stuff or something like that.
From out of the storage cubes in your brain, when you have brain fog, it will improve. But until it does, it's important to cut yourself some slack. The more stressed you become when you can't access that information right away, the longer it's going to take to access that information. And by getting increasingly stressed, you're actually undoing some of that remodeling that your brain's doing because you're putting too much stress.
So please don't get frustrated about when you don't get, like, if you are in this recovery process and you are trying to, for example, for me, it was really annoying that I wanted to remember some kind of song that, for example, my boyfriend asked me, do you know this song? You should know this song. And then when I didn't get that song in my head, even it was like some kind of like Metallica or something that I really should have known, like some song that I did listen when I was a child already. So then it can be really irritating that you are like, why I don't remember this? I have to remember this. Then you start to put stress on that, and that's not gonna help, because you will remember that when your brain are rewired. And memory can be, for many also, if you go through PAWS, it can be the last ones to come back, the short-term memory. So if you don't get something in your head right away, don't get frustrated. It doesn't mean that you suddenly have dementia. You are just rewiring. So don't worry.
On that stress response system. Your attention, your ability to focus on one thing and not get distracted by anything and everything may be really bad. And that's okay.
So it's very common that if you go through this post-acute withdrawals, that you are, for example, you are thinking that, okay, I'm gonna now clean, I'm gonna focus cleaning. So you are just cleaning, but you are just cleaning a little bit here, you are cleaning a little bit there, or maybe you are in your computer and you try to read some kind of article. You have decided that, okay, now I'm gonna focus that, but you just feel that is impossible. Your brain just doesn't do that. Your brain is suddenly, you notice that you are opening other sites and you are already going in other sites. For me, when I started my channel and when I was doing those lives, and even up to 3 years, I did even had really hard to concentrate in comments in the chat. And in my bad way, it was impossible. When my anxiety was really bad, I had really hard time to concentrate, even comments or what I was speaking. But I still did the videos, But that's just I just wanted to also show in my own recovery that how it is. And even in those beginning videos, many people probably thought that I was better than I am. I wasn't. I was just maybe having a good moment or something like that. And that's why I have been now sharing very honestly about my journey, because I feel it's important to people to know that if they are going through PAWS, whatever the addiction is, after months have been go by, or some people years, and they don't feel their best self yet, meaning that they are not in the bad anymore, but they are not in the good either, or we call it in the gray area, where it can be that you still have a lot of symptoms and depression, but it's not like something that kind of, you can still go, it's not going through the days anymore. Beginning, it just be that, even within porn, sometimes it can be that you just have to go through days somehow. Maybe for some people it can be that bad. But then when it gets better, it's like you have more motivation every now and then, and you can do more. You are more functional, but you still doesn't feel probably really happy or really yippee. So that is the state where people relapse. That is the state with porn addiction also where people relapse, because they didn't wait enough long. So you are impatient in that. Of course, I understand. You are patient. You go 2 weeks and you say, no, I don't take this anymore. So you have to go further, because the sign, if you don't feel happy yet, if you don't feel motivated, energized, there is still things to process going on. So don't relapse. And if you do relapse, then just get back in the train.
Make adjustments. If you need to focus and have sustained concentration while you're at work or while you're at home, be in a room where you have as few distractions as possible. chunk the material. If you know that you can't sustain your concentration for an hour, how long can you sustain it for? Can you do 5 minutes, 10 minutes? All right, if you can, do that, then take a break, and then do 10 more minutes. It's better to chunk it and have little breaks in between than not do it.
Yeah, sometimes it can really be that it's only a few minutes that you can concentrate. And for some people, I know I was one of them, when I have so bad anxiety, I couldn't even do 1 minute. So just be empathic yourself. If you need to concentrate, like if you can concentrate even 5 minutes, that's something. Like it's gonna be, the more time goes by, you will have that ability to back too. And probably when you are not addicted anymore, you are concentrating so much better even, because the porn addiction doesn't bother you and you are not thinking about that anymore. So you can concentrate whatever you want and you can put your brain wherever you want. And this is so cool when we are not addicted, because would you rather be a homeless person with having your full brain back and you could do anything, because you could put anything in your brain and it does go there, and you don't have any symptoms. You can be just relaxed and whatever you want to do, you can go there? Or would you rather be like in that state that you would have everything, you would be rich and you would have everything in your life, money, but you didn't handle your brain would be completely messed up? I would take the homeless person praising with God every day and not and still having my brain back. That's just an example that how I feel, how important is it to have our brain function back. And those people who doesn't have the never bad anxiety or doesn't have any addiction, or they don't experience of these symptoms of withdrawals or PAWS, they don't even know what we are speaking about. If you gonna tell normal people that you have PAWS with porn, who doesn't have that, they're like, what is that? But us who go through this, we have so much respect and honor, and like we are just so happy when we go back to normal. We will be probably happier than, you don't know people that are so happy when we go through this process of healing, because we don't just stress anymore. We have gone through that kind of hellish journey that when we do heal, we are just, able to be happy without anything. And that's something to reach out. I tell you guys.
At all. And processing and understanding information.
And if you have a porn addiction, you can even help others in the future like I do. You really can, because I'm not even able to help with this addiction because I don't really have it. I am a little bit expert only if what comes to PAWS, because I have been just getting that information throughout these years, but I'm not even expert for that. Dr. Snipe is expert for that. But I know something because of my experience. But if you ever want, who knows, if you make even a YouTube channel and you help porn addicts in the future, because that will be in the future really much needed. Or maybe you help some of your friend. Maybe you will help some of your friend. That will be really valuable. So don't just think that this addiction is gonna be just a bad thing and it's not gonna, like, it can be that someday you can even help others because what you went through. Just wanted to say that to motivate you. It really can be like that.
Actually may be a lot harder. You may be sitting in a training
but of course now in this space where you are still healing, you don't think about maybe helping others. You just want to feel good yourself, and that's completely understandable. I don't know what's understandable, maybe is that the word? So sorry, my language is bad, English bad, but just know that first you need to heal yourself first, because two people who are drowning with anxiousness, they cannot help each other. They just can. They will just, if you have another person who is drowning, let's say that there is two porn addicts, you are both drowning at the same place. I just say it's not gonna help you, because it's just gonna be like, oh, I'm bad, oh, what you are feeling, oh my god, you are feeling that too, and how many months you are, oh my god, you are, oh, will I have another wave? I will tell you, it's not gonna help. Whatever addict you are, just stay away from stay away from other healing addicts. Of course, I have my Discord group too, and you are welcome there too. If you are a porn addict, you are welcome there too. I will make there also group for that. But just even with the groups, I would be it's not for everyone. If you feel that groups is taking your time, even I will take a lot of vacations from the Discord and social media sometimes, not so much from YouTube, but other social media. So just know that anything that makes you feel that you're gonna be stuck, I would just not concentrate on that, and just do something that will make you feel like help you improve. That's why the groups can, for some people, they can just be not good. Or if you are maybe in an acute phase, and like those, for some people, those first months, and then they can be helpful. But then when you get over the worst, so-called, when you get over the worst, you start to get your own, you don't need so much that talk support, then the groups are not like, the groups have done it work. So you don't have to be in any single group. You can decide where you are or where you are not.
Everything they're saying is like you hear the words, but it's not clicking at all. That's brain fog. Your brain is not in a learning place right now. Take a lot of notes so you can go back and review at your own speed when you can concentrate and focus. Pessimism and negativity is common. When we're stressed, our brain is wired to pay more attention to the vipers than the bunny rabbits. So you may start paying attention to all the things that are going wrong. When you're feeling angry and irritable and bleh, it's not uncommon, actually it's very common, to look for reasons, to look for things in the environment that support how you're feeling. If you're feeling bad, you don't want to find things. A lot of times you don't want to find things that are going to make you feel better. You want to find something that gives you a reason to say, yeah, that's why I feel like crap right now.
Yeah, so this is the one thing I think that we all are doing when we are recovering. So we when we are a little bit more recovered, we start to think that, yeah, maybe it's because I feel this, that maybe it's because my fiance did this, or my boyfriend did that, or your girlfriend said that, or maybe it's because your mother and father said this, and you start to nitpick everything. Like, even it's not about them, it's about you. It's about you rewiring. But that's why I say that two people who are in the same boat can really help each other. Because let's say that you have an okay day, or you have a pretty normal day where you wouldn't think so much things, and then you just kind of go in some group, or you call with the friend who is with you in this journey, and then she is having a flare up, or he is having a flare up. So you have to be really good place in your recovery to be able to not get that stress into you, because you are not still able to deal the stress. That's why when I started to help people really early on, in my own recovery, I started to help people really early on. I wasn't ready for that. I really wasn't, but that's in a way that was also helping me to go through my days. But if I would say something for myself now in those early stages, which was for me first 2 years pretty much. So I would say that no, Annie, don't do that. Just be on your own. But of course, because this caffeine stuff was so new to me, and I was so scared and stuff. So in a way, it also helped when I did get to meet a lot of people who had the same stuff going on, and we kind of learned each other, and then we started to learn people who has gone this before us. But like Yeah, so don't put yourself in those stressful situations if you don't have to. If you don't have to, because you are not here to you don't have to save the world now. You don't have to try to it's not your responsibility. I don't know if you understand. It's not your responsibility when you are in the weak situation. And I myself, I had so much guilt and so much shame, and I still had those feelings for many things, that even things that I'm not enough for God or Jesus, or because I still have sins in my life, or so. I just want to say that shame and guilt and those feelings that we have naturally when we are going through this rewiring, it's normal. So why would we want to make it worse? So first, please, dear watcher, it's all about your journey, your recovery. You don't now have to be try to like save others. Just want to say that.
So you may become more pessimistic and negative. It's important to get a handle on that early in the process and look at the big picture. Yeah, that's crappy. Let me find something that's good. Find some balance. Embrace the entire thing. Dreams. You may start having a lot of dreams about sex or porn. And
so dreams, very common. So if you are a porn addict, just know that it's very normal when you are withdrawing and post-acute withdrawing. You can have a lot of dreams where you are watching porn, what happening in those videos, what you are doing. It is normal because your brain is just rewiring that when we are asleep. It's healing what is happening. All the cells are renewing, new neurotransmitters levels are balancing out. So that is actually a good sign. It's a good sign. If you are addict and you're healing, it's very common that you will see dreams about the addiction that you were on.
A lot of people that I've worked with who have pornography addiction, their dreams are actually about watching porn, or in their dream, they either see themselves watching porn, or in their dream they're watching porn, but they're not actually having sex with people in real life anymore. So that's normal. That's your brain going, this is what you need to do to start feeling better, and you're higher.
So yeah, so that's also like the brain is trying to, because there is a stressful situation going on, because our body doesn't want to feel that stressful. It just wants to have that relief. That's how we have felt. We don't like to feel uncomfortable, but because if you have, your brain have been already adapted to that porn use, so it's also while you are sleeping, it's like, yeah, this is what you should do, so we can get this dopamine flow going on, but you don't do that. It's just your unconscious mind will also rewire itself, and your subconscious rewire itself during the sleep. So it's just don't be like, so don't let those dreams distract you or keep you in the prison that oh my god, now when I see those dreams all the time, it's gonna make me relapse. Just know that you say yourself, this is healing when I see these dreams, and they will end in some point.
Your order thinking is going, no, that's immediate reward. I want long-term benefit.
Yes.
And you may have jolts of craving, intrusive thoughts, or ruminations about porn, or even about things that just make you angry. It's more difficult when you are in early recovery to manage your intrusive thoughts. Mm-hmm. Be patient with yourself. When it happens, notice it. It's kind of like stepping on a tack in your bare feet. It's really unpleasant. Notice it, and then decide what you're going to do next. Pull the tack out. Environmental post-acute withdrawal is basically sensory sensitivity. You become more sensitive to sexual stimuli, as I mentioned before, more aware of it and maybe more triggered by it. And you may become more sensitive with your senses. Smells, sounds, sights may become overpowering. You're stressed out. So things may feel like they're amplified and it's just overwhelming. You can't take the noise at the mall, or you can't take the noise of your kids running around and screaming or something.
So this is very common in PAWS. So the things that normally wouldn't do anything for you, even the smells of the perfumes, laundry, what is that, like washing? I don't even know. Pyykinpesuaine, laundry washing stuff. I like that. All kind of smells can make you feel overwhelmed. They can trigger you stress. Like even if you go to the mall and you think that, oh, I'm gonna just today distract myself and spend the day with the mall, it can be that you are not enjoying there. It can actually be that it's gonna like stress you more. For some people it's like that. It's not for everyone. Not everyone will have the same symptom, but just know that if you suddenly not are able to deal with certain kind of stimulation, even for TV or even music doesn't necessarily feel the same, which for me was, at least when I was going through my pause with caffeine withdrawal, it was scary because I always did love the music and I always did love watching funny TV shows and that, and I just couldn't enjoy them. But it will come back, and then you will enjoy those more, and then those perfumes and those don't disturb you anymore, or those voices, and you can just be relaxed and enjoy. So just to know that stimulation, hypersensitivity is normal.
On the opposite end, you may actually, because your dopamine is low, you may actually not feel much. And it may seem like the world is lacking in color and sound. And
this is the most common symptom also what comes to PAWS. You feel that your world is lacking color. You can watch that what these other people, they are all happy. They are all, you think that other people are just, and that's how it seems for many of us. When you if you quit porn and you just feel like this is not like even worth of living, like this is just, everything is so dull. Everything is so dull because your system was adapted to have that, that lots of dopamine surges, and then when you are just not having that and you are just trying to go out and about, it can be even shocking. Even if you are just in your home isolating, it can be helpful in that sense that you don't necessarily even notice that so well in your home. Even, of course, you're going to notice that. But then when you go out the world and try to do things that you used to do, and you are like, why I'm feeling this? Why these old people are just so happy? Don't compare yourself now. Those people, many of them, they are addicted to something also, because most of the people are addicted, if not some else, they are at least addicted to caffeine. So please don't compare yourself when you are recovering addict to others. I know it's hard, but one day you will be just in your own updated level, and you don't really care what others are doing, because you have so much energy, and you just feel overall happy, like normal happy.
It's not vivid anymore. It's just all dull. That's okay. It's going to happen to a lot of people in early recovery.
But of course, when we are healing, we are not gonna believe when somebody says that. It's hard for us to believe that, because we need that reassurance every day, pretty much. Many of us, we do need that. When, for example, if you are in that gray area and you are, no, it cannot be, oh my God, 2 years have gone by, or whatever is your timeline. Don't start to compare your timelines with others. Oh, that one is 4 years and she's bad. Don't compare that, but just know that it is your timeline, and it's all healing. So that's why we sometimes need that reassurance. Even when we get the reassurance, we are not still like, we probably still are not gonna believe the person who will give that.
And it improves. As your neurotransmitters balance out, you start to see color and hear sounds.
But I can say thank me later. Just go without that drug, just go without porn, and you will see it yourself.
Way you used to. So I told you we'd end with some suggestions. Physically, do what you can to improve your sleep hygiene, and I have videos on that on the YouTube channel. But doing your best to regulate your circadian rhythms and get good quality sleep is one of the best things you can do to allow your body time to focus on restoration and remodeling.
Of course, but for some people, insomnia can be really bad and you can have a lot of night waking. So I said, if you can just sleep whenever your body is giving you opportunity to sleep, do that. So like, don't take too much stress, or because of course we're gonna take a lot of stress. If we cannot sleep, we are even more irritability. We experience even more stress and irritability. But just know that even having that poor sleep for some period of time, it's just very normal in this, and your sleep cycle will get naturally back. I agree what she's saying, but in the sense I just don't. In that sense, I just... Okay, here's the thing that I'm trying to say. When you heal from addiction, your sleep cycle will naturally come back to natural, and it goes back to normal. Without that you... Okay, you can start, if that works for you, you make the good sleep hygiene and you go to bed in the same time. But for many people, that just doesn't work, because their system has its own healing rhythm while you are healing. So in that sense, I wouldn't take any stress if you suddenly can't do those things to make you feel better, even you would try so hard. And then there are other people many times in the groups who doesn't really understand about PAWS. They can say that, oh, you have to take this supplement and this supplement, and when you go sleep at the same night, and then it's gonna help you. Well, for some people it's not gonna help. Maybe for some, maybe a little bit, but just know that if it's not gonna help you while you are going through these symptoms and you are doing everything you can, you are exercising, you are drinking a lot of water, you are trying to eat healthy, and it's still not gonna work, it's not that you are doing something wrong. Actually, if I hope that I will never ever go through caffeine withdrawals ever again. I'd rather die. But if I would have go through that, I would say to myself that, Anni, don't stress now, and don't even exercise, don't just eat what you eat. And that's what I would say, because so many people I have seen, it's not about diet, it's not about anything that they're taking extra supplements to help them, it's about time. It really is that the brain needs to do its stuff to go back to normal, and there is not just so sudden quick fixes. I don't hear any. I don't know quick fix that you can just have your cells renew suddenly in 3 months. All your body cells will renew in 3 months if you have been addicted in some substances or something really long time. It takes what it takes. And of course, if you are younger, probably it doesn't for all people take so long. And by the way, in this side comment, me and Mandy, we are doing a live together soon about the topic that we are just gonna discuss a little bit, why some people so-called fall off the mountain with the drugs. So we are just going to speculate a little bit. Just it's not just we are just interested about that why some people have so bad withdrawals, or they fall off the mountain with some drugs, and some people don't have. So just stay tuned. I will inform that video about Discord when we are about to make that. But that is just interesting. So just know that you are individual. So not even there would be the same two persons going through the same. Even me and Mandy, when we have been sharing our journey, we don't have exact the same journey. Like, even you have a lot of high anxiety and long-term problems, we all have still our own genetic blueprints kind of that affects our healing. So just know that they are not just two just like a person. even with high anxiety, the other person can experience that a little bit different way. So that's something the know also.
Nutrition. Those hormones.
So it can be that maybe some people can have help for doing some things in their journey to maybe make anxiety a little bit lower, maybe taking CBD or something, or but then maybe other person doesn't. So but what is the general thing is the time. The time is the medicine with this addiction too.
Hormones and neurotransmitters and neurons, those are made from something. And that something is what you eat. What you eat are the raw materials that are broken down in order to sustain life. If you eat like crap, you're not going to have good materials.
Of course, but everybody does know that. And of course you want to eat healthy, but also like I tried all kind of diets in my own journey, all kind of diets. I eat really clean and it didn't do anything to my healing. So just try to do with that best as you can, and I don't start to argue what diet is best for because it depends on the person. Now I eat anything that I want. I can eat also dairy products because my gut is so much healed. So I don't know if that diet thing is affecting so much when you quit porn, but you can try. Of course you can try, because you, like I said, I'm not specialist with this addiction, so maybe if that helps you with the energy levels or whatever, try to eat clean as you can, but just know that if the diet doesn't fix your symptoms away, at least you know what is going on and you don't get frustrated. Oh, I have this clean diet, I'm carnivore, or you do this or that. And then if you are not suddenly healed, you don't get frustrated. Why this doesn't work? I did all that I can. So it's normal.
It's like having really cheap concrete to build a skyscraper. It may hold, it may collapse. I don't know. So do you really want to do that, or do you want to make sure that you've got the best materials going in as possible? Now, that doesn't mean go absolutely rigid, crazy on your diet, because that's no fun, and that's going to make recovery even more unpleasant. What I'm saying is try to eat colorfully. And Skittles and condiments don't count. Try to eat more fruits and vegetables in your diet. The colorful ones actually have anti-inflammatory components that can help reduce the inflammation in your body and speed the healing process. Red peppers, yellow peppers, even green peppers. I don't like them, but whatever. Hot peppers, those can be good. You can get those in a rainbow of colors. Carrots, melons.
I did let myself to eat a lot of like junk in the beginning because I was just so bad. I just said that whatever, if I get through this anxiety, I let myself. But you do what you can. It's always, and like I always say, you have time. If you have time, why wouldn't you try things? Because you can try. At least I was so desperate to try anything. I was just so desperate. But when it comes to supplements, I didn't try many of them. I did try like CBD oil. That didn't do any harm for me, but it didn't really help. Maybe it did relax a tiny, maybe a 0.5% when I did try that in my first year. Because I did quit supplements when I was 2 years old. But then I tried some electrolytes, some minerals I did try, ashwagandha I did try, but I didn't get help from those. And just to say that many people can have like reaction from supplements, so that's why it's not necessarily good for supplements. Supplements itself can cause people a lot of issues and damage. And I know those cases that have had a supplement injury while they are healing, because the nervous system can be so sensitized. When many people heal, we have the sensitized nervous system, which means that we cannot deal pretty much any stress. So supplements can be just a stress for the system and anything. So just keep that in mind. But I don't wanna, like, if you can take them, I'm not any kind of like I'm not stopping you to do anything. I'm just sharing information here, like, only sharing information, and you do what you do.
Apples, bananas. There are a lot of things. I know some people don't love broccoli like I do, but eating some.
But we are not gonna watch all this video. I'm gonna just take a little bit further and let's go in that. And then I will link this video below my live, and you can then watch Dr. Snipe's videos for yourself. But
you need to figure out what works for you. Light to moderate exercise helps reduce your cortisol levels, which turns down some of the temperature, remember, hot and cold chemicals, and makes it easier for your brain to heal and remodel itself. Intense exercise like HIIT or intense weight training. Some people find that it feels extremely beneficial, and other people find that it's too exhausting.
Yeah, this is really important to understand. So I recommend always some kind of exercise, even it would be a little. But some people, for example, myself, I couldn't do exercise that I would done normally. So I couldn't go do heavy lifting in the gym. I just couldn't. I had so much symptoms and exhaustion and dizzy. It did make me dizzy. It did make me feel, it did flare up my symptoms. But what I did a lot of, I did do a walking. Okay, back then I did yoga, but that is something that I don't do anymore because I'm now following Jesus, and yoga is not just, it's not the Christian things to do. But I do like gym, and like do some things, do what you can. If you can work out like normally, I definitely recommend to do that if you can, because who knows, maybe with porn addiction you can do that, maybe you can work out. So definitely that will help you to heal and distract your days with the symptoms. But don't get discouraged if you just feel so low, and if you don't feel good to work out, then try to do maybe something. Like, you have to prioritize the things that you have to be okay to not maybe be able to do the things that you used to do, and that itself can cause a lot of sadness and angriness. At least it was for me, because I was just so impatient. I always say to my friend that I'm the most impatient person, but then I did become patient with this because I was forced. So do what you can, and it's always good to get fresh air, go outside, maybe something, little times, maybe 10 minutes, because we sometimes think that, oh, if I don't get that 1 hour workout, then I don't do nothing. But it's not have to be like that. It can be sometimes like the 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Don't be so what is that, ankara? I don't know the word. Hard. Don't be so hard to yourself. At least you're healing. Think about, you're getting rid of the porn addiction. That should be like thumbs up and woohoo and amazing. So others are there using it, like you are at least trying. It shows if you are watching this video, you are already have some kind of thought maybe that you are quitting, you are wanting to quit. That's something that takes a lot of courage. Many people are not even wanting to do that they would want to quit porn, or maybe they think that it's not so bad, so they don't have to quit that. But I do say that you do a good work. So we are now not gonna watch that video more, because there in the end there is like a little bit more those
use its energy for remodeling
recommendations that you can then watch the last of this video by yourself. But okay, so now if you have anything that you wanna comment, or anything that you would like to add, and just know I hope this gave you a little bit some motivation or tools, and just know that, like I said, I'm not any expert for that. I just wish you all well, and I send you a lot of blessings. And one thing about I wanna share, because I sometimes share like, you know that I did change my channel name, Walking with Jesus and Caffeine-Free. It's because I just love Jesus so much, and I wanna take also in these lives little pieces of the Bible. So in this this specific sin, which porn also is, which also, like, in Christianity, it is actually a huge sin. So I just wanna read one thing in the Bible when I find it. Wait a second. Because that is the one sin that you actually do against your own body. Because, like, I think that we shouldn't do that. Like, our body actually belongs to God. According to the Bible, it doesn't even belong to us. So why would we hurt? But this is like the Corinthians 6:18. So it says like this: flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their body. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own, you were bought at the price, therefore honor God with your bodies. So I just wanted to read you that, and of course I recommend you, if you want to read the Bible, it's the God's word, and like, but just wanted to share that. And I always want to say here in my channel that I do believe in Jesus, and Jesus is the Savior. Jesus did die cross because of our sins. So whoever wants to believe Jesus and like say that, for example, if you want to say that, dear Jesus, I have made sins. I want to confess my sins and I want to give my life to Jesus. Jesus does hear that prayer. So praying can be really good if you have addictions, if you want to believe Jesus, which is the way, through and the life, only way to the God. So you can pray. It can be really good. But I hope that even if you are not a believer, this life did help you, and like, it's not wrong if you need any kind of therapists during going through this journey. Whatever helps for you. For me now in my life, if I have any problem, I just pray and read Bible and talk to God, and that's been really, really good for me, and that's what I wanna do. Even I'm not like, we all are sinners. Like nobody can. We cannot with our own doers. We cannot save. Like with our own trying, we cannot save, because it's not impossible. But I hope you like this live, and put thumbs up if you like, and comment whatever if you want. And we will do with Mandy also lives in the future, and I have also other lives coming when I have more time. But I hope this messy live did give you some information, and it will help you, whoever have this porn addiction. So God bless and have a nice day all, and remember, you got this. You really do.